Okay.
I was listening to Dr. Treacy saying that Michael thought that Obama didn't like him. But, you know, I don't know. I think that Obama was in a really strange position. People wanted to find something about him. You know, if he said he didn't like, if he didn't like Michael, it's like, who doesn't like Michael Jackson? If he said he did like Michael Jackson, it's like, well, what are you doing? You like child molesters. If they took him over to somewhere in Africa where he was I don't even know what the name is. They said they could still smell the flesh of the people in there before they went into slave ships or whatever. I don't know what it was, the door of no return or something, but they could not wait to get him over there to, you know, to hear something negative. But I guarantee you, I believe with everything in my heart that Obama liked Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was actually, you know, like kind of walking like Martin Luther King. He really was. He had something about him that made people want to stand up and be better. And I'm sure he probably affected.
Okay.
I can't believe.
You know what? In private, I have no idea, no doubt that Obama probably loved Michael, but
he couldn't say it in public.
No. Politics is all about image. Okay.
Right.
So that would be potentially, and I'm sure he had advisors telling him this, if you do that, potentially you're siding with a potential child molester. Okay?
Right,
and
exactly.
So,
that's what happened there. But you cannot get everybody, you know, anybody that can be, you know, like here's Obama. He's got Jay-Z and Beyonce on an iPad listening to it. You know, he's got like, if he's got Stevie Wonder and all those people, he's got Michael Jackson all over his iPad. And there's no way that you could, you know, I know he had to love Michael Jackson. But if there's the way, the political, like you said, you couldn't never open up your mouth and say it.
No, okay? And to me, that is a coward, all right? If you know what?
Now that I can relate to. Wait, somebody is trying to call in. Here's Dr. Treacy again. Hi, Dr. Treacy.
Catherine, before you start World War III, it wasn't Obama, it was Bono.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you said Obama because thinking Obama, they had like him pinned up.
Obama at that stage was just a junior clerk in Chicago. He wasn't even running for political office, you know.
Good for you. Thank you for straightening that out.
I said that we were walking by a picture on my wall, and it was one that Bono had given us when we opened the clinic. And he turned around and he said, I don't think Bono likes me. We're going to on a different day, but no, it has nothing to do with Obama.
Oh, I thought she was talking about some other issue, not the picture on your wall. I thought
all wrong, I guess.
I never.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think Bono had any political issues where Michael was concerned. You know?
Yeah.
Certainly not any political issues, but Michael felt that Bono didn't like him.
Did he ever doubt that, you know, because I'm sure Bono, it wasn't true, right?
I don't know. I never discussed it with Bono.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
One never knows.
Okay. All right. Well, there's clarification. Sorry about that.
So glad you called back and explained it, because I thought, you know, like, no, they just kept pressing him. They, you know, for whatever, when Michael died, they were just all over Obama. Why did you know, they wanted him to, it wouldn't have mattered what he said, you know. It would have been something to be on the first black president about, and that's a fact. That really is. So they had like all that little stuff going on, and also some other kind of thing that was in Africa. That's only two.
In terms of a black president, myself and Nelson Mandela and Michael talked one night together, I know Nelson's dying tonight now in Cape Town. During a period that I was treating the vitiligo on Michael's legs, either he phoned or Nelson Mandela phoned us, and we were setting up a concert in Africa, in Rwanda, where Grace came from, and he put on Nelson Mandela on the phone. I didn't know it was Nelson, and the person turned around and says, "Oh, I believe you want to run a concert with Michael in Africa. Take this." And he says, "No." And Michael's laughing, sitting up and saying, "No, you take it, Treacy." He says, "You take it." Okay, and I'm saying, "Hi, how are you? Like you a concert promoter or something?" And he said, "I believe you want to set up a concert in Africa." And I said, "Yeah, Michael wants to do one in Rwanda because, with HIV people." And he says, "Yeah, well, I will help you. I will help you every way I can." I said, "Well, thank you for that." I give the phone back. He says, "It's Mandiba. It's Mandiba." I says, "Okay, Mandiba." I had the phone in one hand. I recognized the accent. I said, "Are you in Cape Town?" And he says, "Yes, I'm in Cape Town." I said, "I used to live in Cape Town. Do you know Bantry Bay?" And he says, "I know Bantry Bay." And I said, "Do you know Simonstown?" He says, "I know Simonstown." And I said, "I used to live down there." And he says, "Hi." And then I give the phone back to Michael, and I said to myself, "Oh my God, Mandela is Mandela." Look at this show, So I said, "Give me the phone back." And he just laughs and says, "No. And he puts the phone in his pocket and starts talking. He says, "No, when grandfather calls," he says, "you must talk to him." He says, he says, "he'll not even remember it." He says he's got Alzheimer's. We'll deal with his son.
Very interesting. Michael he showed me this place. He wanted to send me on a vacation one time, and he showed me this place in South Africa that was beautiful. It had giant bronze elephants on a walkway that went up to the main entrance to this hotel, and there were these beautiful blue pools of water around it. You know what that place is?
Yeah, I think it was Mount Nelson, wasn't it? 5-star hotel.
Yes, it was a 5-star hotel, and Michael wanted to send me there. But I remember that well. It was
he loved that. I think it was Mount Nelson in the Cape.
Okay. I knew it was in South Africa, and it was stunning. What a gorgeous place.
Stunning. Yeah. No, I think he stayed there. Yeah.
He used to go there. He said, "I love this place. You'll love it too.
And you're right, Barney would have loved it. It was beautiful, and South Africa is beautiful, and everything about it. I lived down there during the 90s and was in and out of it many, many times. And I first had my chance to go to South Africa, believe it or not, to work during the 80s, and I refused to go there with Christian Barnard in Cardiff-Thoracic in the British School until 1990, and on I think it was January the 19th, 1990, I was in Baghdad, and Nelson Mandela got released, and I said, okay, I'll use my South African and dental council as was then registration, and I got registered, and I couldn't go there for another 2 years because I had to go to Scotland and then to Gibraltar, and then I made my way down through South Africa. But I took so long reaching there, honestly, because I went through Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia. God, I took so long going down there that my job was gone. And so by the time I reached there, I did another cardiothoracic job off Long Street in a private hospital, but not in the British School where I was supposed to. But at the time I got down anyway, Christian Barnard had developed arthritis, and he went down to the Greek islands to hang out. And it's just funny how life changes for everybody, you know.
Well, yeah, that explains your accent. I was looking for your Irish accent, and I couldn't find it. It's more South African than anything else, you know.
Oh, my Irish accent is there. Believe me, no, it's Northern Ireland, so it's sort of, but it's tempered with a bit of Australia and South Africa, and probably the United States as well. I lived for quite a period in Miami and Santa Barbara. I was with some Santa Barbara friends tonight, and Los Angeles.
Are you really?
Yeah, New York.
I'm right next to Santa Barbara. Okay.